Okay, for this one we're going to talk about just kind of some miscellaneous tips and tricks on POE. First thing, I'm sure they teach you this in training, but just to make sure, to have POE open immediately when you click on the icon on your desktop without having to do the extra step with this little sidebar junk, if you've ever seen this. Basically what you have to do is go to this wrench up here, User Preferences, go to General tab, choose Sunrise, hit OK. You can then close the sidebar. And theoretically, the next time you open POE, it'll come straight to this screen without going to this one in between. If it doesn't work, just try it again. There's some type of glitch to where sometimes it doesn't pick up right away. But it's a good place to start. Okay, other things. All these icons on the variety of screens, order screen, patient list screen, they do a lot of helpful things, but not everybody uses them because they don't know what they do. If you highlight your mouse over them, it'll tell you. But in the meantime, if you want, you can have text labels. So now all these have labels with them, so you don't have to wonder what they do, both above and below. Now the way I did that, Preferences, Toolbar, Show Text Labels. I actually don't like it because I think it takes up too much space, and I like my icons to be small because I like there to be a lot of screen space. So it's just a personal preference thing. And the way that these things work, you might already know. You can click on multiple things at one time and then click discontinue, and that will just discontinue those that you've clicked. So that's nice. The other thing that you can do is easily reorder medications. So you just hit either discontinue reorder, which you probably wouldn't want to do. It would just be messy to reorder each one, but you can do just copy reorder. And that's really helpful for downgrading people from the MPC to the floor. So you basically would click on all their meds. Actually, let me find a better patient. So this lady has 1 million pre-admission orders. That's why the red circle's there. Y'all probably know that at this point. I'm going to hit release. If you ever see an order that you want to be released, like for example the lab draw time is about to come up and they were just downgraded and the nurse isn't doing it, so you can hit release, select all, OK. And all of those pre-admission orders will now be active in the system. Just give it 1 minute. Might be asking it this training POE module to do too much through my virtual desktop, but hopefully it'll work. So you can see I have these small things. There's also extra toolbars or extra icons you can add up here, like the change attending icon and the OR schedules icon are the two that I have from default. I think they're very helpful to have. So you just go to Toolbar, Preferences Toolbar, and over here on this side it tells you all your options basically. And you can look down and find what you would like to add. And this is your actual toolbar. So you can see OR schedules and change attending. I will remove OR schedules, and now you see it's over on this side. I can put it back. So this is how you can add those two features. The change attending function is great because there are ways to make certain lists based on the attending's name, and I think it's really nice. For example, on the oncology service, that's how I make my custom lists. Sometimes it doesn't open, but anyway, when you click on that, it lets you can see the process to walk through and change people's registered attending. For example, on this patient, the attending is Sarah Clever, and this attending is Rhonda Miller. So I could go into the change attending. I don't know if I can do it in the this version of POE. So you can see it's now up there. I don't think it'll let me do it because it's not an active, this is just a training module. But anyway, I could type in Miller, Redonda, and it would bring up Harriet Lane, and then I could transfer that provider to be Sarah Clever, and then in 20 minutes or maybe a little bit less, 5 minutes, it would update within bedboard and the provider would be changed. So that's nice. So back to the orders. This is where we were originally. If I wanted to downgrade this patient, the fastest way to do that is to click on the pharmacy checkbox. And so I just selected all those meds. Look through the meds to make sure they're all ones that I want. I don't want them to have 2 albuterols. I don't want them to have 3 Tylenols. Same thing with the digoxin. Just one of these. For this patient, you would definitely get some pages from pharmacy or from the nurse. So whatever you click, a lot of meds here. A lot of times the things that you will find you don't want are all these random normal saline KVO orders from one floor to another or one level of care to another. Vancomycin 1 gram intraperitoneal Q24. That is an awesome order. I've never placed that myself. Okay, so now I have all these boxes selected. You could select a couple more. Don't do any of the nursing orders. A lot of times I'll do the PTOT orders just to make sure that they come over. And then you click on the copy reorder button. So copy reorder. Yeah, I thought that was a little fishy. Okay. So you copy reorder everything. You hit OK. If you don't want to order that, you can just hit OK. And I've got all these things ready to be reordered. You want it to be under a pre-transfer session. So now all those orders are now under pre-transfer. You can then go through and do your admission order set. I clearly will not take the time to go all the way through, but once you did all of that, they would all be populated here in this list, and you could submit the pre-transfer orders for that patient. So now, whenever they're downgraded, all orders that are not pre-transfer will be canceled, and then the new ones will be released. But anyway, other miscellaneous tips and tricks. Let's see. Acronym expansion you guys probably know about, but if you don't, it's brilliant. So you come into acronym expansion and you can type in whatever you want. A lot of times people use a dot at the beginning of their acronym just so they don't accidentally want to type the word 12 and it doesn't let them because it expands. But there are tons of acronyms out there that are helpful. A lot of times people use acronyms for their H&P. So here's all my acronyms. I mean, you can really, the world is your oyster when it comes to acronyms. Do it however you want. You can make acronyms for an assessment and plan for heart failure. and then just fill in the gaps from there. So the other great thing about acronym expansion is you can import from another user. So you can type in somebody and see all their acronyms and then steal them. And that is very much encouraged to use each other's acronyms. People do their physical exams, their frequently, the real thing it's made for is for actual acronyms, for things that don't make any sense if you weren't a medical professional, and then it would expand out. Unfortunately, it's not used that way as often, but it can be. So yeah, that's acronym expansion. Go back over to the trainer one. So the last thing on this miscellaneous walkthrough we'll talk about is customizing the actual list. So this list, test patients that I've made, I can customize by going to Actions, Select Visit List column. When you click on this, you can move in a bunch of stuff. Like, I like to know when they were admitted. I like to know the Assign Provider tab is key. Assign Nurse works from time to time. Depends on how well the floor updates it. You definitely want to have to verify, new orders and new results. There might be some things you don't want. Like, I don't really care what the orders pending review are. I don't care what the unacknowledged alerts are, so you can take stuff out if you want. You can always put them back. The other thing you can do is you can move stuff up. And you click OK, and then you've got a bunch of new columns. You can, of course, resize. The other thing you can do here is, I was just doing the move up and move down. You can also just move them within your list, and it will remember that as well. The trick is, this is only for my test patients list. So all of my other lists do not have the same column selection. So that's why I think it's helpful to minimize the number of lists that you make, so you don't have so you can have them arranged the way you like them. Okay, another nice thing on lists is turning the flags off and on. So you know about flags, they pop up whenever somebody has a new result or a new order or something like that. The way that most people turn them on is they click all these little buttons, and that clears the flags, and it also turns them on. The other thing you can do, which is great, is just select all and click that button, hit yes, and it will take them all off. So when you have 25 patients, you just hit select all, turn them all on, and there you go. Likewise, it will clear the flag. So this patient has a new result, Harriet Lane. Select all, flag new off, yes. Flag new on, yes. And then I have a brand new fresh start. So when you come in on call, you can clear all your flags that way. I'm sure there's some other good tips and tricks, but I'll stop here on this video, and we can start up another one